Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. This is Rob. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are coming back to the channel, welcome again and thank you for being here. Today we're going to be doing a review that actually one of the viewers recommended that I do, and I thought that it was a great idea. So we're going to be reviewing my top 10 decks when it comes to paper stock. So this is going to be a video all about paper stock. We're going to be reviewing shuffling. We're going to be reviewing how these decks feel on my hands and why they came to be the number 10 top decks on my collection for paper stock. Many of you have seen my videos. Many of you have not seen my other videos, but I really am into paper stock. And a lot of people said to me, you focus so much on the paper stock, maybe it would be a good idea if you did a video just on paper stock. So here we are. Let's get into it. Let me show you what my best top 10 tarot decks for paper stock are. At number 10, you guys, we have the Elisa Seitzinger Symbolic Soul Tarot. Now, this deck is by Los Scarabeo, higher end decks by Los Scarabeo. It comes in a box, once again, that breaks into two pieces like this. It's a very sturdy box, and if you ask me, this is one of my favorite presentations by Los Scarabeo. Actually, whenever I see that they come out with a deck with this type of presentation, I know that I'm probably going to end up liking the cardstock on this deck. So this is the box, the inside of the box, the sides. And so once again, you guys, we're going to be talking about paper, not necessarily about the drawings, not necessarily about anything else that has to do with the deck, but paper. And at the end of the video, you guys, I'm going to have an extra piece of information that I think is going to be very helpful to you when you are looking to buy a new deck that has to do with paper stock. So stick around and I'll let you know what that is at the end of the video. The cardstock on this deck is robust. It might seem a little bit stiff for some people, but for me, it's just a really nice paper to work with. It slides well. It's a fan situation or a fan situation. It works well, but it could work better. Now, I have to say that for a lot of these decks, you're going to see that the fan situation doesn't work so good because this is thicker paper and because the paper is not so slippery as some other ones may be. Once again, you guys, this is deck number 10, Elisa Seitzinger, Symbolic Soul Tarot by Los Scarabeo. Let's move on to deck number 9. Deck number 9, Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot. This one is by Los Scarabeo. It comes in a presentation exactly like the one I just showed you. This is one of those hard boxes that breaks into two pieces. So this is the top of the box. This is the other side or the bottom of the box. And like the other one, this one comes with a small booklet. That it is a nice booklet, I have to say, in terms of the materials and how it feels on the fingers. It has that rose petal feeling, and just like the other one, it comes in different languages. It goes into the minor arcana, major arcana. It gives you a couple of spreads, and that's all that there is for these little booklets. But that's the little booklet for that one. And let me show you what this cards look like and what this paper is all about, or this cardstock is all about. Now, they're borderless, but we're not here to discuss the drawings. We're here to discuss paper, and this paper stock is really nice to work with. So this cardstock is on the shiny side, but not totally shiny, and this is one of the things that really attracts me to this deck. It's shiny, but it's not matte. It's kind of like in between, and so it allows it to be shuffled really well and to do a fan situation really well, but at the same time, it's a pretty robust cardstock, and so when working with it, you don't have to worry that you're going to damage it, and it's just really good cardstock. It shuffles really well. The weight of it is really wonderful because it's not heavy, it's not light. It's just a really nice paper stock to work with. And so if we do a fan situation with this one, like I said, it works good. This is number 9 for cardstock quality. I really like it. And by the way, you guys, I'm going to try to not make this video very long because I feel that we can make it pretty short and pretty concise, and you'll get a pretty good idea of what my top 10 card decks look like when it comes to paper stock. So let's move on to number 8. Number 8, Jay Naibi from Il Melenghello. Many of you know, many of you don't know, but I love Il Melenghello decks. This one is one that I purchased about a year ago, and I work with this deck very often. The paper quality on this deck, well, first of all, it comes in a box like this. All Il Melenghellos come with a box like this. It comes with these are handmade, by the way, and it comes with a numbered card for this particular deck. This is number 1132 from 2000. And so it's very nice because they number them. Here it comes with a little note that says, this item is created by hand. Any imperfections or variations are due to its workmanship and are not to be considered as defects. So, and the paper quality on this deck is amazing. And not only on this deck, because I wanted to say on these decks, is just absolutely amazing, you guys. It is lush. It is elegant. It has sort of an old feeling to it, which is just reminiscent of the drawings on this deck. This is the back of the card, and it feels really like it takes me back, I don't know, into my childhood years when there was not any kind of plasticky paper or anything like that. It's like sort of like cardboard, but in a good way, I have to say, because this is mate, and it's not the finish of the paper. It's sort of a rough finish here on the top, but it just feels so wonderful. It's robust, so it is kind of a thicker paper. It doesn't bend very easily. I think that this paper stock, or this card stock, really makes the colors come out, and this is intended to look like an old deck, although this is a new deck. Oh, this paper stock is perfect for this, for the motif that they try to create here, but it's also just feels perfect for the hands. This is Il Melenghello. This is a Jay Naibi, and this is one of my favorite decks for cardstock. Let's move on to number 7. Deck number 7, the Slavic Legends Tarot by Taroteka. And I think this is going to be a controversial deck because I have heard many comments of people saying that they don't like that velvety feeling, that they feel that the cards get stuck when trying to shuffle them. And that might be true for some people, and for me as well. I sometimes when I try to work with these cards, it sometimes gets stuck. But let's get into it. It comes in a box like this. It opens this way, and it resembles a book. It's really cute, by the way. And this is the larger version of it. They have two versions. They have a smaller one, and they have the larger one. This is the larger one with the velvety cards on them. So let's take this out, and let me show you what these cards are all about and what this paper feels like. So this is really thick cardstock, which I like very much. And so these are larger cards, by the way. So when it comes to larger cards, I think it's really important to make them with thicker cardstock, at least for me, for my particular taste, because otherwise, because they are long and they are wide, they tend to bend. And if the paper, for me, is not thick enough and sturdy enough, it tends to bend the cards. And the fact that this one has a thicker paper prevents them from doing that. And This has the matte finish and it has that total rose petal feeling to it. So if you're into that rose petal feeling, then this is just a deck that you may want to get. But beware, because when you order these decks, they have different paper stock quality, or they have different paper stocks. And so this is the one that I chose for this particular deck, but they have other ones that are thinner, shinier than this one. So be on the lookout. Make sure that you know exactly which one is the one that you're looking for. And so when it comes to shuffling this, well, these are large cards, so shuffling is already sort of a challenge. They do shuffle okay. You're going to have to work a little bit harder at it. And yes, they don't slide so easily like many of you complain. I think they are complaints. But for me, it doesn't matter. I really enjoy the fact that they are thick, and I enjoy the lushness on my fingers, and so that really doesn't matter to me. And so it makes the colors of this deck come out really, really well. And of course, when it comes to a fan situation, this is really not the best to work with, but you can still manage and you can still do it. It doesn't have to be a perfect fan situation, right? But on the other side, when pulling one of these cards out, they don't bend. They hold really sturdy, and you have a sturdy piece of card, or you have a sturdy card on your hands that it's not bent, and that just goes back on the deck very easily. So once again, you guys, this is the Slavic Legends Tarot. This is our deck number 7, and let's move on to deck number 6. Deck number 6, Visconti di Modrone Tarot, and this one is restored by Mattia di Auge. It's by Lo Scarabeo, and this is their museum quality editions. This deck is not only beautiful because of the paper stock, but it's also beautiful deck when it comes to the drawings and everything that they did with the gold foiling, and it's just a beautiful deck. It's a rather large box, as you can see. So if we compare it to a regular box, so let me just compare it to this one, for example, it's large. So be prepared to encounter a large box if you're thinking of getting this deck, and make sure that you're going to have some space on your bookshelf for this one. It opens up like this. The presentation of this deck is really beautiful. So I think it all kind of goes together. It's elegant. The paper stock, or the cardstock quality, is really beautiful, and so I think that presentation goes really, really well for the cards that they present us with here. And it comes with a book like this. This book is not very informative. Of course, this is a historical deck, so the book is very short when it comes to what it has to tell us, but it gives you a brief description of the cards. It has a picture of the cards here. It comes in different languages. We're going to put this aside, and I'm going to show you what these cards look like, because they are just beautiful. So they come out like this. And by the way, you guys, they come in 2 different sizes. They come in a smaller size like this, and they come in a bigger size. So if you're into big cards, you can look into the other version of this deck that comes with bigger cards than this one. I chose to get this one, and I'm happy with it. And I've looked at the larger cards, and they're beautiful. So this is what these cards look like. They're really, really beautiful. They got a gold foiling on it, and they're just super sturdy. They feel sort of like, it's almost like at that borderline of between plastic and paper stock. But for me, it's beautiful. It's a thicker cardstock. As you can see, this is a thicker deck. And it is longer, by the way. This is not your regular size. So if you look at this, this is a regular Lo Scarabeo. This one is bigger than that. So shuffling this deck is beautiful. It folds perfect. The weight is really wonderful. It's sort of on the heavier side, but nevertheless, it just feels lush. It feels delicious on my hands. The gold and the silver foiling just looks perfect on this cardstock, and I am so happy that this deck is on my collection. So let's move on. Deck number 5. This one is not a tarot deck. This is an oracle deck, but it slipped in there. I couldn't help it because the paper stock of this deck is just one of my favorites. So it had to be in there. This is the Woodland Wardens. It's a 52 card oracle and guidebook. And one of the wonderful things about this deck is the price of this deck. It is so affordable and it is really easy to get. You can get this deck almost anywhere online. And I love everything about this deck, but we're here to talk about cardstock. And if you want to know about this deck, I did a full review of it. You can go in the channel. And by the way, you guys, most of these decks that you're looking at, I've done full reviews on them. So you will find them on the channel if you really want to get into the deck, the drawings and all of that. So this one breaks up, this box breaks up into two. This is a sturdy box. This is what the inside of the box looks like. Outside of the box, it comes with a small booklet, which is very informative. I read this book all the time when I do this deck. And so the book looks like this, and it is super quality. This deck, we're getting close to number 1. So I'm getting more and more and more excited when I do this, because I really like these decks a lot, and this is one of those that I just adore. So Woodland Wardens, this is the guidebook, and it is that rose petal feeling here, and it's very informative. It gives you a picture of the card here, and it gives you the description of the card here and the meaning. Just really informative, and there is not one time that I take this deck out and don't read the book. So sometimes, I guess, if I'm really, really in a hurry. But let's get back to the cardstock. Cardstock on this deck is absolutely wonderful. It's not thick, but it's not thin. It's not shiny, but it's not matte. Well, it's more like on the matte side, true. But the colors are beautiful, and it has that. It's not total rose petal, so it doesn't get stuck. I don't know, but this cardstock is absolutely wonderful. It slides really well. It's not super heavy. It's really, really good. It might be on the thinner side. So as you can see, the cards are just a little bit bent like that, because I hold them like this and I shuffle them like this. And this is one of the reasons why I didn't make it into number 3 or number 2. But nevertheless, wonderful deck, wonderful cardstock. It just works so well for shuffling. Fan situation works fairly well as well. This is one of the decks that I recommend 100%. Let's move on to deck number 4. Deck number 4, Professional Edition Universal Tarot by Los Scarabeo. This is a huge deck. Some of you know, I do love large cards, and so this is one of my decks of large cards in my collection. But not only do I love it because of the large size of the cards, but I also love the cardstock on this one. And it is a bit surprising, I have to say, because it is a shiny cardstock. And let me show you. This box is beautiful, by the way. It opens up like this. This is a hardcover box. It breaks into 2 pieces. Very, very sturdy. Beautiful presentation. It comes with a book like this, which looks impressive, but at the end of the day is not that impressive. Very typical of Los Scarabeo. It comes in different languages. It goes into the major or minor arcana, and that's pretty much all that there is on this book. These are big, so let's compare it so you kind of see how big these are. These are huge. This is a regular card, but when it comes to large decks, I think it's important to have a really good cardstock, because it just allows the card not to be bending totally. And so this one does this. It's not a super thick cardstock, like, for example, the Taroteca, and it is on the shiny side. So this one will allow it to make a good fan situation. The shuffling becomes a little bit easier because the cards do slide easier. And so it's not that rose petal surface that sticks together. This one is not like that. Cardstock is really good. I use this deck on a regular basis for studying. I use it for teaching, and I use it for contemplation. So if we want to do a fan situation with this deck, you will see that it works really well, as you can see, because it's that slippery paper. But it's slippery, but thick enough. So let's move on, you guys. This is the Universal Tarot by Los Scarabeo, and let's move on to deck number 3. Deck number 3, the Somnia Tarot by Nicholas Bruno. This is a very interesting deck when it comes to pictures. I don't think this deck is for everybody, and well, which deck is really for everybody? But let's just say this deck is a little bit out of the mainstream, and it is one of those decks that a lot of people get scared of, and I myself wasn't really sure when I first got it, but I have a full review of this deck on the channel. So if you're interested to know about my thoughts about this deck and to really go into detail about this deck, then look in the channel. You will find the review for this. It comes in a very, very nice box like this. The presentation for this deck is absolutely beautiful. It is not an inexpensive deck, so you should know that. The book looks like this. It is pretty much a run of the mill. I do believe that you take this book when you read with this deck, because of course you can have your own interpretation of the cards and what you know the cards are, but it is really interesting his interpretation of the cards. And when I say he, I'm talking about Bruno. So that is that book, and let me show you what these cards look like and why this paper really made it to number 3. This cardstock is totally sturdy, and one can say that maybe it is plastic. And at the beginning, when I first got this deck, I didn't really know if this was plastic or if this was really cardstock, but it is cardstock. It's not shiny. It is on the matte side, but the printing on this deck is absolutely beautiful. And also the cardstock is just luscious, it's sturdy. It allows for a wonderful shuffling. This is just one of the best cardstocks that I've ever held on my hands. They fall like almost perfect because it is sort of a heavier paper. I mean, just look at this, you guys. It just almost falls automatically in a perfect way. So shuffling these cards it's a delight. I can't tell you enough about it. And when it comes to a fan situation, it's not really the best, but you can still manage it. But it's just a beautiful, lush, sturdy, thick cardstock. This one in particular is gilded, and just a pleasure for me to work with. The images are another thing, and you can look at the video on the channel about the images. It's a very, very interesting deck and very different, to say the least. But we are here to talk about cardstock quality, and the cardstock on this deck is definitely one of my favorites, and that's why it made it to number 3. Let's move on to deck number 2. Deck number 2, Lucid Dreams Beginner's Tarot. This is by Saint Soleil, and I've made reviews that include this deck. I have a full video on this deck on the channel, but this is just one of those decks that not only is it sentimental, has sentimental value to me because I learned a lot of my tarot with this deck, but it just is quality all around. It comes in a box like this. It closes and opens like this. By the way, you guys, I use this deck very, very often. This is just one of those decks that I cannot get my hands off. The paper quality or the cardstock quality on this deck is one of my favorites. It is that linen paper, which I thought I would never be attracted to because there's other linen papers that are in my collection that I'm not attracted to. But this cardstock fits me perfectly, and it's sturdy, but at the same time it's flexible. It's not shiny, but it's not matte. This particular deck has hints of gold in it, but it just is a delight to work with. I'm super happy when I take this deck out. In terms of durability, this deck can run miles and kilometers and miles for days. Nothing happens to it. Shuffling is a wonderful thing with this deck. It not only does it fall perfect, but once in a while it'll do a flip like this, which we like very much. For some of us, it could mean a sign that that is the card that we're supposed to pick. And the colors are beautiful. The printing on this deck is absolutely wonderful. And of course, if you're starting with tarot, this is a perfect deck. But we're here to discuss paper. And when it comes to cardstock quality, this made it to number 2 because it is just wonderful to work with. So you guys, let's move on to deck number 1. Deck number 1, Tarocchi Piemontesi, Stefano Vergano, 1830. Now, this is one of my historical decks, you guys, and I didn't know that one of my historical decks would actually make it to number 1 for cardstock, but it really did make it. This is one of Giordano Berti's decks, and it is absolutely beautiful. I have some other of his decks. This is, of course, one of my favorite ones, not only because of the cardstock, but I also love the drawings in it. And I'm a sucker for a good historical deck. And thank God for Giordano Berti. And who, for some of you that don't know Giordano Berti, he is located in Italy, and he does old style cards like this, and we're very thankful for having Giordano out there. And he, of course, numbers his decks. These are on the expensive side, so if you're thinking of getting one of Giordano's decks, be prepared to spend some money. But it's really worth every penny, and he really looks out for every single detail. He even sends a handwritten note like this, thanking me for the purchase of my deck, and it's really well appreciated. It gives here some of the other samples of some of the other decks that he does and that are for sale. And of course, you can go to his website. He has his own website. And if anybody wants to know more about this, let me know and I will write to you. But let me show you what these cards look like. Let me show you what is really so interesting about this paper and why it really appeals to me. So the cards are on their smaller side. If you look at this, well, kind of the same, but I mean, they're shorter and they're a little bit thinner, but it's just the perfect combination of cardstock. It's not too thick, it's not too thin. It's not shiny, but it's not matte. It is for durability. These guys can run for days without being damaged. The only thing I think for this deck would be the edged corners, but it doesn't matter. If you're careful like I am with your decks, you will be able to handle this deck, not a problem, and be able to conserve it. And I love the drawings. It's sort of a Marseille deck, but it's just so amazing. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful cardstock for me. It shuffles really well. Shuffling is like perfect. Just a delight to shuffle with. Once in a while, one of them will turn around, and maybe some of us think that that is a sign that that's the card that we should take. So that is very convenient. I do like when that happens. Fan situation is not the best with these decks, but you can still manage it and take your card, and that's what you get. And I said at the beginning of the video that I had another piece of information that I thought would be very helpful for you, and here it is. You guys, this is a deck that didn't make it into the 10, but I really have to share this with you because this is a really nice cardstock as well. And this box might look familiar to some of you. This is the Cosmovisions Oracle by James R. Reed. And the boxes are beautiful. The presentation of his decks are absolutely stunning. And so I have all of his decks, honestly. I think there's a new one that came out that I'm not buying because of the paper stock. And it's like a 3-dimensional sort of card stock, and you move it around and then you can see the different, it's a combination of a tarot deck and an oracle deck. And I didn't get it. But this is the booklet that comes with it, and it is very informative. So if you're going to get this deck, I think that you're going to find this booklet very informative. It has that rose petal feeling to it, and so it's a nice little booklet. And these are the cards, and the cardstock for these cards is really nice. Love working with this cardstock. And these are the cards. They're gilded, as you can see. And this is also just really wonderful cardstock for me to work with. It's sturdy, but it bends and it works really, really well. And it is wonderful to shuffle. As you can see. Really, really nice. The weight of the paper is really good. It's sort of on the heavier side, but it just feels so luscious. And if you do a fan situation with this one, it also works okay. It's not a perfect fan, but it works well. And the printing of it is really, really good. This is the Two of Lotuses. And you guys, that comes to an end. Our video comes to an end here. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you have any of these decks? Are you familiar with any of these decks? If you do, let me know. What are your thoughts? Do you like some of these decks? Do you wish you had some of these decks? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe to the channel if you like the content. And I hope to see you soon. And like always, you guys, until the next time.